sometimes what happens is candidates log in as attendees and then I see their name on the side. So then I promote them in as panelists. There's Nantasha. Fantabulous. Welcome everyone. Oh, I see Jason Clark and James Johnson. See, promote to panelists. Harold Miller, promote to panelists. Wow, everyone's here. Here we go, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, welcome everyone. Here you all are. And if anyone's stuck as an attendee, just do something so I notice you and I'll promote you to a panelist. Look at how many candidates we have here, everyone. Of course, it's a confusing time when there's so many people running. And that's why Schneps Media and PoliticsNY with Sky, that's why I'm doing this. We're elevating all of your voices to voters who are unable to meet you in real life and get to know the candid side of you. So many of you have been on my series, Schneps Media's 3 questions in 3 minutes with Sky. And if you haven't been on the series.
Mr. Rivers, he's on, but he's on, I think he's in the wrong, he's in that other section, Anthony Rivers.
Okay, Anthony Rivers, here you come, promote to panelist.
Okay.
Look at all that. Wow, there's so many of you. Awesome.
Renee Hill in the attendee section as well.
Wow, guys. Some of you aren't on our website, I have to say. We want, oh, Renee Hill is on our website. Let's see, who was the other one you just mentioned? Not on our website.
Anthony Rivers.
Oh, he's on our website. Okay, fantastic. Okay. That's right, Anthony Rivers, your face looks familiar. You emailed me, but your email name is different than your actual name.
Thank you, Kerryanne.
No problem.
And look at how many candidates, you guys. We're only going to get to like 1 question. Okay, let's dive in now that we're all here. Gang's all here. Welcome to PoliticsNY with Sky. Schneps Media is the only media outlet providing this platform for all the candidates to be seen and heard. So let's just jump right in. This is District 27, a seat currently held by Danique Miller. So it's nice to meet you guys. It's nice to see everyone. To today's debate, I like to make it fast and fun, and I promise to be done by 6 o'clock, but with so many candidates, it's going to be hard, you know, but we're going to do it. So the neighborhoods that these candidates are vying to represent in District 27 are Cambria Heights, Hollis, Jamaica, St. Albans, Queens Village, and Springfield Gardens. This forum is being recorded and it'll be accessible on politicsny.com. All of our debates are there. We're hosting debates for every single council seat. So I've been a very busy girl. You can see all the recordings on politicsny.com/debates. So welcome District 27. Look at all of you guys. Everyone's looking fantastic. Let's go in alphabetical order, last name first, just a quick elevator pitch on who you are and why you're running, and try and keep it 1 minute. I won't time you, but I will cut you off if it seems like you're going over 1 minute, okay? So I guess that makes Marie first, since she has an A last name.
Hi, everyone. I'm Myles Adam-Ovide. I am a public servant for 20 years, working in city government. I'm a parent. I'm running for this position because our community deserves better. We deserve better services, and we deserve a representative that truly represents the community and will fight for equity in our community. Equity in education, business services, healthcare, housing, taxes. I am your candidate. I have gotten a lot of accolades from our Congress members, elected officials, but this is not what it's all about. It's about helping the individual person, the person who trusts government, to do the work that they cannot do on their own. And oftentimes, many people are left on the side. And that's the reason why I'm running, because I'm the person who's gonna take care of everyone, regardless of who you know. Myles Adam-Ovide, I am the last person listed on the ballot, and I'm asking you to rank me first. Like they say in the Bible, the last shall be first. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie. Next is Kerryanne with a B last name.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to address the public. I am Kerryanne Burke, and I am also an attorney. I have quite a bit of experience starting off my career in the New York State Legislature, in the Assembly, and also the Senate. And I am also experienced in housing, having worked for NYCHA and HPD, and in government procurements, having worked for the Mayor's Office of Contract Services. I'm running to be your servant exactly for this community. I think that we need more servants who will come into the office and actually care about the people, the issues, the concerns that they have, and come up with plans to resolve them. I would love for you to vote for me as your number one choice because I have the requisite policy and legislative experience, as well as the civic and community engagement. I am also known within the community as a Sunday school teacher at the Greater Allen AME Cathedral, as well as involved in many of our civic associations and the founder of a nonprofit called the African Diaspora Birthright Organization. I believe in our youth, I believe in our seniors, and I believe they need a representation that will bring them into the 21st century even further and beyond, especially after COVID-19. So thank you for this time. Rank me as your number one choice, and I look forward to your questions.
Thank you. Let's hear from Jason Myles Clark.
Great. Thank you, Sky. My name is Jason Myles Clark, and I'm a Democrat running for New York City Council in District 27. Aside from being a candidate, I'm a civil rights lawyer and I'm an education advocate. I'm a proud third-generation son of Southeast Queens, and I'm running for City Council because I believe in our future. You know, COVID-19 has really put us through it, exacerbating disparities and inequities that we've known have been here for a long time. But I do believe that with the right direction, we can emerge stronger than we were moving into this pandemic. Prior to running for City Council, I served as an Assistant Attorney General in the Office of New York State Attorney General Tish James, focusing on protecting Black and Brown communities that were the victims of fraud. I am also the immediate past president of the Metropolitan Black Bar Association, which is the largest association of Black attorneys here in New York. And I am the creator and founder of Dream Chasers, which is a free tutoring and mentoring program that has gotten kids in our community into some of the top high schools here in New York. And with the experiences and lessons I've learned as an advocate, as a problem solver, and as a leader, I will fight to ensure that we have a quality education for each and every one of our children. I will fight to protect our homes so that we don't see a repeat of what we saw during the last recession back in 2008. And I will fight for better transportation options and more resources for our seniors. And I plan to get it done by working with our community, by leveraging my knowledge as an attorney, and by making sure that we're bringing innovative solutions to old ideas and old problems. My name is Jason Clark. Rank me number one on election day, and I'm fighting for us.
Thank you. I think Leroy is next, Leroy Gadsden.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having us. Let me say this, I am Leroy Gadsden, asking everybody to vote number one. I'm your first choice. I'm running based on my record in this community. I've stood up, I am a true community activist with the experience. I never received a dime, but as the deacon at the Mount Olive Baptist Church, I'm also a brother with Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and I'm on the executive board of the Guillebeaux Brewer Democratic Club. But I think my accomplishment in this community over the years was as president of the Jamaica branch NAACP, where I served for more than 10 years. As the president of the NAACP, we discovered that government has failed the people in this community time after time after time again. And I fought for the betterment of this community. I have a success story in that fight. When we were bringing jobs, I fought for jobs for this community. When the casino came, we stood up. Until you could hire from our community, you cannot build a casino. I knew how to work with people. I didn't stand by myself. We brought in clergy and community leaders. When the city, once again, government closed down the Senior Citizen Center, Alpha Phi Alpha, we fought and had them reopen the center back up. When it comes to schooling, when they put the incompetent principal at IS8, the man had been fired from 4 different schools, but yet still the city deemed him qualified to be a principal in our district. We told the chancellor and the mayor, no, sir, it cannot happen. And he was terminated. He was removed from that school. Our list, when you're trying to put up the Short Sheet Hotel at South Conduit and the Springfield Boulevard, there's a high school across the street and another school across the Conduit. Also, people paid their money for a nice neighborhood. We fought the developers, but we also found ourselves fighting the city, the board of the Board of Appeal, and we found fighting the building department because they never should have been granted. We have fought against liquor stores in this community. Our record speaks for itself in fighting for the betterment of this community. As we move forward, we need a candidate with the audacity to stand up. When it comes to the issue of policing, we testified at every hearing on stop and frisk. United States Justice Department, New York State Board of New York State Black and Puerto Rican Caucus hearing, New York City Council, we testified. And when the hearing was held, and we were able to override the mayor's veto of the stop and frisk bill. We know about police accountability, and we run on our record. We need to bring some changes and make sure that Southeast Queens District 27 is at the front of the line when it comes to receiving government benefits. I am the candidate with the audacity and experience to make that happen in 2022. Elect Leroy Gadsden, your representative.
Thank you. Now, Linda, I know you were having trouble with your audio. Are you there, Linda? Maybe we'll skip over Linda while you try and figure it out. Let's go to Renee, and Linda, when you figure it out, we'll give you your spotlight. Renee Hill.
Hi, I'm Renee Hill. I'm running for City Council, Council District 27. I'm a lifelong Queens resident. I was born in Jamaica, Queens here. I raised my kids here, 4 kids here. I went to school here, Jamaica High School, York College. And I was a chairperson of Community Board 12 for many years. I served on the Community Board for over 10 years. I helped to save the VA hospital when developers were trying to take it over. We saved it for our veterans, and we're trying to make it into a hospital right now for our veterans so they don't have to go to Brooklyn and Bronx or Manhattan for treatments. I worked with community leaders, other community leaders, to bring better infrastructure into the community. We helped to alleviate the flooding in our community. The activism resulted in Councilman Richards getting $1.5 billion in funding to correct some of our sewage infrastructure, our sewer infrastructure. I saved SQPA, the organization that has a license to run Roy Wilkins Park, from closing down due to financial concerns. As Adelaide Park chairperson, I helped to landmark Adelaide Park to save the African-American history, and I'm currently fighting unfair laws like the proposed plan intro 2186 to eliminate single-family zoning. So please go to my website. Some of the councilmen that are currently in the position right now are trying to get rid of our single family zoning in all of New York City, and we need to stop that. Most of the single family zoning is here in Southeast Queens in our district, and that would change the whole character of our community. So please go to my website, reneehill2021.com, and sign that petition. Also, I have worked during the pandemic to bring supplies and information to the community. I will work to provide safe and clean streets, green spaces, better education for our children, work with the precincts as I have in the past, definitely hire more social workers to work with the precincts. Violence interrupters is important in our community. We need to support them. And I will strive to give quality education to our children, technology access, teacher development, safety, and gifted programs, which we really need as a community. I'll continue to speak truth to power in our community. A vote for me is a vote for our community. I've been here probably the longest out of all of these candidates running. Like I said, my family is here, and I don't plan on leaving. I have a home here, and you are my neighbors, and I really care, and I actually work for what's good for our community. So go to reneehill2021.com and please rank me #1 on your ballot. Thank you.
Thank you. James Johnson.
Hey, Sky, thanks for having me. I'm James Johnson, a community organizer here in Southeast Queens. I'm from this community. I attended the public schools in the district, PS 136, IS 59, Campus Manor High School. My mother also attended the public schools I actually attended as well. My father bought a house in Cambridge Heights in 1978, And, he's a transit worker. He worked here for 27 years. I'm running for office because, I believe that the city services has failed us in our community. This have been a drastic issues. We've had drastic issues in our community for well over 10, 20 years. People that I'm knocking on doors and hearing that they've been in the community for 40 years and they see the services are getting worse and worse and worse. Our property taxes have went up every year and we've been getting less and less and less. I believe there are two communities. One community knows elected officials, has their cell phone numbers, hangs out with them, goes to their barbecues. You have the other community that don't even know who the elected officials are. And I believe that I'm the candidate that have the reach to reach all parties, whether they're young people, whether they're elders. I'm the one that's actually the only candidate that actually has been fighting to get their senior centers facilities back open. I'm the one that actually was there when, our seniors actually are in Alpha Senior Center before I would decide to run to actually help them keep their money in their pocket because the city loves to take revenue off our elders. I'm the one where there's times when Belmont redevelopment, we bought it as a hockey stadium coming our way. We actually fought to actually get a traffic study, So I've been on the ground. I know our community. I'm an organizer. One of our community parades was for Campus Madden High School. I'm a product of Springfield Rifles organization. I'm homegrown and I'm ready to fight for this community.
Thank you. Al, it's your turn. Al-Hassan Kanu.
Thank you very much for having me here today. Good evening, everyone. Eid Mubarak to everyone. I want to say I am, of course, Al-Hassan Kanu, and I am popularly known as Al. People call me Al. I am the candidate that's been endorsed by the incumbent in the 27th Council District because of my work. I was born in Sierra Leone, West Africa. I moved here in the 90s when my country was in a civil war that took the lives of over 60,000 men, women, and children. I went to college here. I went to Jamaica High School to finish my high school diploma. I went to York College, where I started as a student leader and became a United Student Government president. During that time, I met then Councilmember Kanu. I started serving my community from college days and then became an intern at his office. While I was an intern at his office, he later on appointed me to a district community, director of district affairs, where I served in this community with 27 Council District for 10 years. When County time limited, I continued my service with his successor, Councilmember Ida McMillan, and served him for almost 5 years. I've been serving this community for almost 15 years in this capacity, in the seat that all of us are trying to represent the 200,000+ people that lives currently in this community. I've been working in this community since I arrived from Africa, and I want to continue my service. I want to continue my service because I know what the problems are. And I want to work with the community to understand what the problems are and know that they need someone that understands how government works and what's the politics in City Hall and able to navigate the system and bring people together and work together to answer questions and bring resources to our community. I've been doing that for the last 15 years, and I want to continue doing that as the next council member for the district. I look forward for your support, the people that are watching out there. My name is number 10 on the ballot. That's how desperately we need a next leader. If I ask on a scale of 1 to 10 how desperately we do need a leader that can carry us to the promised land, you will say 10. Well, my name is number 10, and I'm asking you to vote for me as your number 1 candidate, because without me, you can get a council member that's going to serve you 24/7. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Harold Miller.
Hi, good afternoon, Sky. Good afternoon. Thank you, Schneps Media, for having this forum of debate. Again, I'm Harold Miller. I'm the candidate running for City Council in District 27. I'm running because I have a history of getting things done, and I'm going to get things done when I'm elected to the City Council. I'm a community organizer for the last 20 years. I started my career at Acorn, later New York Communities for Change. I was appointed deputy commissioner in the mayor's office, and recently was the campaign director for the Test and Trace Corps. And at that time, and during my career, I was able to fight for science labs for middle school kids, fight for a $15 minimum wage for fast food workers who were living in homeless shelters and had to walk to work 3 miles plus because they couldn't afford the bus or train fare. You know, I was in the mayor's office, help expand universal pre-K, work with faith leaders to build affordable housing. And then at Test and Trace Corps, make sure that we had expanded testing sites in our communities, as well as distributed over 3 million pieces of masks to make sure that particularly Black and brown communities in the city were safe during the pandemic. I'm running on a platform making sure we protect our homes. We are a community that our wealth is in our homes. And so we have to make sure that when it comes to housing, that we're able to make sure that we're able to pass on that wealth to our next generation. It's about generational wealth, and we're losing that every day in District 27. We want to make sure our transportation is up to par with the rest of the city. We're a transportation desert, and we need to make sure we have expanded bus service, expanded access to Penn Station with the $5 ticket, and we can do those things. Also, we have to make sure with this recovery money coming in, the money is there, and we have to make sure we get our fair share of resources, not only for our small businesses, but for our schools and for our quality of life overall. And that's why the work I've done over the years to advocate for the community, that's why I'm endorsed by the Hotel Trades Council, Unite Here Local 100, the Working Families Party, New York Communities for Change, and many others, including State Senator James Sanders. And so on June 22nd, you go down to the ballot at number 11 and pick Harold Miller at number 1, and we're going to get some things done. Thank you.
Remember on The Voice how they say like vote number 1 or dial 11, you know, everyone has their number. It reminds me a little bit of The Voice.
It feels that way with all the candidates in this race, but it's a good thing.
So thank you. Next up is, yes, your number. Next up is Anthony Rivers.
Well, hello, and thank you for having me here today. Obviously, I'm running for Council District 27. A little bit about myself. I'm a married father of 3 children and a homeowner in St. Albans for 27 years. I'm a former United States Marine, a retired lieutenant from NYPD with 23 years of service, and a licensed financial services provider of 27 years. I'm also a community activist. But I'll tell you right quick, my 23 years with NYPD led me to do community work throughout Brooklyn, Queens, and the South Bronx. I held the title of Integrity Control Officer prior to me leaving, and my duties included the development of an integrity control program suitable and responsive in exchange for information for self-anti-corruption purposes. I managed the integrity for the sergeants, the police officers, and the civilian workers, the entire command, a total of 255 people. And I'm proud to say in my tenure, we had 0 incidents. As a licensed financial services provider of 27 years, I've spent thousands of hours across the kitchen table, educating and assisting everyday families on how to save and accumulate money for retirement. I'm also a board member of the St. Albans Civic and the founder of a neighborhood group called People for the Neighborhood. People for the Neighborhood was founded to provide unbiased information about our community. It's not a traditional organization. Our goal is to seek equitable service for Southeast Queens. We are not a 501c3. We are self-funded. This allows for an uninfluenced platform. Well, why is that important? Because as a community activist, whether I'm standing out on Hollis Avenue protesting, or at City Hall protesting, or standing out on Liberty Avenue against the carting companies fighting for environmental justice, or taking the city of New York to court. All of these things I've done have all been for the betterment of Southeast Queens, never personally for Anthony Rivers. Anthony Rivers is a community activist who utilizes their own funds, or my own funds, to fight on behalf of community. I've never been in a paid position to fight for community. Everything that I've done has been on the merit of the organization, People for the Neighborhood, and myself. That's why I'm in this race, to bring accountability back to the position. Unfortunately, I'm no different than everyone else sitting in their home right now. Sick and tired of being sick and tired of people getting in these positions and then not properly advocating for the community. That's why I'm involved in this race, to bring accountability back and to fight for the community as a true advocate, so that the next person who follows me will really wonder whether or not they want the job because of the work involved, because I care and love my community. That's why I'm running. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's hear from Nantasha, please.
Hey, Sky, always a pleasure to be with you. Hello, everybody. My name is Nantasha, and I would love the opportunity to serve my community born and raised here, recently purchased a family home a few years ago, so I'm totally invested in our future. Never imagined running for office, but having worked in government for well over the last decade, my own observations and seeing the disconnect between community, people, and the decision-making process always encouraged me to figure out ways to make the process more democratic. In my personal capacity, I have been a member of Community Board 13, where I've served as a chair of the Special Initiatives Committee. I also founded a political club for Black women called the New York City Black Women's Political Club, and I am a board member for one of, right now, we're getting more, of the crisis management organizations in Southeast Queens called Life Camp. For me, this is really not about a job, it's about what we can do together. I'm running for office because I truly do want to make government more responsive to the issues we have in the community, whether it's around quality of life, protecting our seniors, supporting our youth, transportation, and much more. I do have 27 ideas for the 27th Council District that you can find on my website at nantasha2021.com. But I really am just passionate about ensuring that our community is even better than what it already is. I am the first person on the ballot already, and I just humbly ask for your first ranked choice, June 22nd. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And now, Linda, are you there?
I hope you can see me and hear me.
Yes, we can. So let's just hear about you for 1 minute.
Hallelujah. Okay. Thank you so much for having us. I am humbled and grateful to be asked by the community to serve in the capacity as councilwoman for District 27. I appreciate my community. I'm born and raised in Queens. I've worked for many years with many of the pastors, Reverend Dennis Dillon, Reverend Al Sharpton, many of the pastors, the Church of God in Christ, to provide for our community. This is not anything new to me. I have always been a city councilwoman, and I just have never been it officially. And this is the opportunity to be the official #1 choice, the choice that you can trust, Linda Guillebeaux. I appreciate the opportunity to serve my community. I have worked with the homeless, the veterans, the single parents. I've taught teachers and parents and children, developmentally delayed as well as gifted, in the same classroom, and they all learn. It is a pleasure to serve my community. I have worked with many officials, mayors, and governors down through the years. It's just another opportunity, and to do it properly. I am so happy. This is going to be a lot of fun and a lot of work, and it's going to be nice to work for my community in an official capacity. I thank you all for this opportunity, and I look forward to being the #1 choice, the #1 change for District Council 27 in Queens. Thank you.
Thank you. And you'll see, everyone, it took half our time to get through the introductions, so we have another half hour. There are a lot of issues that I want to discuss that the voters want to hear about. And we do have a live audience that has submitted some questions also. But what I'm going to do next is we'll go in the same order, and I'll have you pick the issue that you want to talk about. I know there's a lot of issues. You mentioned housing, transportation, public safety. You work with the homeless, you founded an organization, whatever you want to talk about that's your strength coming into this race, that would seal the deal for a voter to pick you over anyone else on the screen. So let's start with Marie again.
My favorite subject is equity. And I'm glad that my opponent, who came on the race after me, Harold, mention equity, because he also realized that it's something that's very important. So that's something that I think we both feel that we're not getting in District 27. We've been shortchanged for a long time. We're gonna have money coming from the federal government that needs to go to our schools, but we can't replicate what we already have and just have more of the same. We need better services for our students. We need mental health. We need better transportation. We also need the same services that other communities are getting. And I'm very equipped in making that happen, because the communities that are getting some of those better services, I'm the district manager there, and that's what I do. As district manager, I'm in charge in delivery of services. And as the first Black person in Community Board 8 and being a district manager there for 14 years, I wouldn't be there still if I wasn't the best. Other issues with equity, healthcare equity. We do not have the same quality healthcare in District 27 that they have in other districts. And that's something that needs to be brought to our community. Transportation, as I've already said, all the transportation seems to go straight to the subway. Why not have buses, more buses that go to other boroughs? Because not everybody's going to Manhattan. Also, our businesses. Take a look at our businesses. Take a look in other areas like Union Turnpike. Do you see a difference? I do every day. And the thing is, I'm on one side where I work, and I come to the side where I live, and I don't see the same services. I want to see nice storefronts. I want it to be somewhere that people want to come to. I don't want to see gates all over. I just opened my office on 20511 Hollis Avenue. I don't put my gate down, because at night when the light is on, people pass by, they see what's there. They'll come back during the day and the morning. If you have a business and you have all the gates down because you're afraid, why are we afraid? Don't we have the same support and the same services? Is that why we're afraid? That's where the equity comes from. So in every issue, we need equity. And that's why I'm the right person at this time to fight for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Kerryanne Burke.
So my top issues, I have a 5-point plan, and I call it the Innovative Future for Southeast Queens. I start off in education. That's one of my strong points. I come from an education family, so I know it quite well. And I was an education consultant for the Department of Education in the Students in Temporary Housing Program. So firstly, our school systems in District 27 rank at the lower 50 percentile in math and reading proficiency. That is a huge concern. It's been a concern for many years. And our children are not receiving quality education to make them successful into the future. That is problematic because our education system is also tied to our real estate, as many people know, and that is also an economic injustice when you look at a poor education system, high property taxes, and we can't actually pull out our equity to bring forth better businesses in our community or even to send our kids to college. So I will be fighting for better schools in our community. In addition, I will be fighting against fraud in housing. I would also be fighting against deed theft. And in addition, I will be fighting for affordable housing for those who are looking for apartments. In addition, I'm fighting for small businesses. I come from a business owning family, and I know the issues that surround those particular small businesses in our community. Therefore, I will be supporting the MWBEs and trying to ensure that they had grants and government loans in order for their business to be qualified and move forward throughout the years. Lastly, our nonprofits need support in the Mayor's Office of Contract Services. I actually governed some of the nonprofit work there, and I noticed that they do not even receive the money from the government. So we need to regulate how they receive the funding so that they actually can survive. There are different grant programs that the city government has, and I will be looking to expand them if elected. In addition, we have just simple quality of life concerns in Southeast Queens, from sanitation to infrastructure to transportation. We need to expand our innovative transportation measures. We need to ensure that when the streets are broken, they are put back in place so that people do not fall into the potholes. This is just simple things that will make people's lives really better. And for my vulnerable population, having been a part of it myself, I take it very seriously. The homeless population that is often very forgotten. You probably don't realize it. We call it in the homeless environment. People who are living in temporary housing, people who are living with family in a double up scenario, maybe not all in the shelter system. They need support. Our children need support. And therefore, I will be supporting those efforts and also supporting our seniors and veterans. So these are some of the top 5 bucklets that I will be focusing on. And I think I have the policy experience to actually do the work, and also the community engagement aspect as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I know I love for these answers to be more focused, but what are we going to do? I want you to tell us what you want the voters to know you for. You know, why should they pick you out of everyone on the screen? Jason.
Yeah, sure. Thank you again, Sky. You know, for me, I think it really has to do with our COVID-19 recovery, right? I mean, I think we've started to make some inroads in the right direction, but there's still a lot of work to be done to make sure that, you know, we're coming out of this in a stronger position than we were beforehand. I mean, during COVID, we've lost over 52,000 New Yorkers. We've lost over 500,000 jobs, you know, and all of our children have been impacted in some way. So when we talk about that recovery, I want to make sure that we're doing more when it comes to healthcare, make sure we're doing more when it comes to our small businesses, making sure we're doing more when it comes to education, and make sure we're doing more when it comes to, you know, empowering our community-based organizations. And I think that means, as when we're saying healthcare, that we have more mobile units out there so that folks can be able to get access to the vaccine, even if they can't get to one of the locations that are currently there, if they're disabled or they're seniors, right? And using this as a mechanism in the future to be able to provide preventative care measures so that we don't have these same type of public health issues in the future, or at least a less likelihood of them in the future. Second, when we talk about our small businesses, I mean, they have been impacted so much by this pandemic. You know, the time that they had to shut down their doors, and so many of them just weren't able to get the funding that was needed to be able to continue. And what I want to do is make sure we're doing a better job of ensuring that our small businesses have access to grants, right? Working together with the New York City Small Business Services Department so that we can go up and down our commercial corridors and give individualized assessments to some of the businesses so that they can get some of the resources that are already available now. You know, I think when we're talking about that education component, ensuring that with all this new funding, the $8.2 billion in new money that's coming, in additional money that's going and earmarked for education, I want to ensure that we're using that to invest in community schools, make sure that we have a real robust plan for tackling learning loss by making sure that there are more after-school activities and more after-school tutoring opportunities, you know, and making sure that we're doing more for those out-of-school, out-of-work individuals who tend to get lost, you know, sometimes in our educational framework. You know, and then finally, as part of that, you know, again, the community-based organizations, which, you know, to me, you know, what we need to do is make sure, and I include like our houses of worship in there, you know, making sure that they have access to the funding, that in times like this, that they have an ability to be able to have an effective legal structure so that they can be able to get more grants that are out there, and then being able to really, I guess, bank on those community-based organizations. Because I think at times like this, you know, and especially with their houses of worship, people go to the places that they trust, right? And especially, you know, in the Black community, you know, our houses of worship, such as our churches or a mosque, for example, are places that people have gone to. And we need them to be in the strongest position possible so that they can be able to do well in our community.
Thank you. Leroy Gadsden, what's your strength here?
Well, my strength is this. I have worked in this community as a volunteer over the years, and I've been successful working with different community groups and clergy organizations. I want to get elected and continue to do that. Key thing we have to work on, these government agencies, they are put in place to represent and protect the citizen. That's the goal and responsibility of government. What I've discovered, that is not happening in Southeast Queens. I want you to vote for me because I'm going to fight to make sure that education persons who are on a salary, that they're responsible to our students. 3 things. We can no longer have these oversized classrooms, and now that we're in this pandemic and we will probably be remote for the next 2 years. 2022, we were already oversized. We must undersize our classroom to meet the needs of those young people that's now have to do remote learning. The second thing is that we'll make sure at an early age, every child in our schools must have access to computer. They must learn technical skills. And the third thing I would fight about to make sure every student in our school also has access to a second language, mandatory, because the child that graduates from high school 10 years from now, if he or she does not command a second language, or they fail to command access to a computer, what's going to happen? They'll be unemployable on the employment roster. Those things I want to fight for education. And I've seen the Board of Education fail our communities time after time and time again. I'm elected, I will deal with the controversial issues as your representative. Next, I want to deal with hospital. Unfortunately, I was ill with the virus. I was in a room in Long Island by myself. When I got out, I discovered everybody at Jamaica Hospital packed in a sardine. Our community, if I'm elected, I'm fighting for another hospital in this area. We need it for our quality of life. Housing, we must look at housing. If I'm elected, we're going to overthrow and try to overhaul the mental health system and the homeless system. You walk in your neighborhood here in the 27th district, you see people wandering in the street, talking to themselves. They need help. You know, they need help. And there's the $8.5 million that the mayor allocated for his wife to spend. To the best of my knowledge, that money did not reach District 27. Put me in office. I guarantee you that money would trickle down and we will help those who need help. This homeless system, I want to turn the homeless system from a shelter system to make it a humanitarian effort. Right now, it's a profit area, whereas putting people in mental ill or whatever, down on their luck, they're putting these people in these shelters for profit. There's no improvement service. They're now running another scam with the hotel. A hotel built in your backyard overnight becomes a shelter the next day. Your property value down. They're putting people out all day and they're wandering your streets, not knowing where to go. That is not humanitarian. That's all for profit margin. If I'm in office, we stop that. Also, if we look at things that get to us, is that we also have to deal with the fact, quality of life. We must deal with the police issue. And that's a controversial issue, but New York City cannot go on like this. I'm the man qualified to deal with this issue. I've testified at hearings. We must deal with the one word is accountability. We must hold police officers accountable for how they treat Black folks, Hispanic folks, Asian folks. That's the first thing. We must have a system involved. I see you telling me to stop, but those are the things that are hard. And I think as our society move forward, that's the elephant in the room that's controversial. We're going to have to fix that if we're going to have quality of life and decrease the value in our community. I mean, decrease the balance in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, maybe I should rephrase the question because everyone's touching on all the different issues. The question really is, what is maybe a top skill or an experience that you have that no one else here has that would make you the winner? Like you have a vision, you have an experience, something specific that you can point to.
You want me to answer that question?
No, you. Renee Hill.
You don't want Linda to go? She's a G.
Oh, I know she can go. I thought we were going to go in the same order because she went last.
Let her go now.
Okay, Linda. Oops. Are you there, Linda?
Trying to unmute. Can you hear me?
Yes. Tell us your strength.
Okay.
What's your superpower?
My real name is Dr. Linda Guillebeaux. And my strength is education. I have 2 doctorates in theology and a Master of Science in Education, Administration, and Supervision. I am a top administrator, just what this city needs. My strength is education. My experience and second strength is working with NYPD, which you know we need for health and safety. Those are the 2 main areas. Because I was raised in the projects, I have a sensible idea of what is needed in the NYCHA housing system. These city agencies, the Department of Education, the Police Department, and the New York City Housing Authority are my main areas. I can work wonders in these areas because that is where my experience is. We got rid of drugs in Rochdale Village because we worked with the 113th precinct with the commander. We had what you call community policing, where the police officer knew everyone in the community and knew who was a threat and who was not a threat. In the projects, we had cleaning men, maintenance men. They cleaned impeccably and knew every woman and her husband and every neighbor. This is what made a difference, and it was a beautiful place to be raised in the projects. So I have a lot of experience. I work with unions. Yes, my name is Dr. Linda Guillebeaux, but the best jobs I ever had was with the unions. Unions pay more than regular jobs, and you have job security. I'm a New York girl. This is a union town, and I like to give kudos to local 804, the Teamsters Union. And also I learned to drive a truck with the Daily News. So I'm a woman who has gotten around. I do a lot of things. I work with children. I work with parents. I work with male-dominated professions because they pay more. I am so grateful to have the opportunity to go into the classroom and bring back the enrichment. They took out music. They took out dance. They took out theater. They took out all the things that our children learn and really explore. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Now your turn, Renee.
Thank you. So I have an economics degree, and that's what's needed right now. We need someone that knows, and I'm an accountant. I was a principal of a major entertainment accounting firm, and I know budgets. I also helped to clean up, like I said before, SQPA, they had financial issues. So my expertise is accounting and budgeting, and I'm a fixer, and they call me a bulldog because I don't stop. I do it, I work on something like the saving the St. Albans VA hospital. I did that for 7 years. I'm not getting paid. It's not a government job for me. I've never had a government job where I get paid. All my work is volunteer work, and I've had a lot of accomplishments in the community. Landmarking Asley Park. I just keep at it. There was a section they didn't want to landmark. I made sure that section was landmarked. I care. I'm compassionate. I'm passionate. This is my home. My neighbors, I love them all, and I have the support of all the local civics, most of them, if not all of them, because they know my work and they know that I get things done in the community. So, and I'm not bought by anyone. I am not sponsored by any elected officials, so I don't owe them anything. I don't owe any unions anything. So it's so important to be independent and to be able to make up your own mind. And that's why they should vote for me. I am number 4 on the ballot, and I will get things done. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Wait, I just want to mention one other thing. My name is the shortest one on the ballot. So if you forget what number I am, it's the shortest name.
It's fun that everyone has their little joke of how to remember where they are on the ballot. It's fun. So yeah, no, maybe the question should have been, what's your superpower? Maybe I should have phrased it like that initially. So thank you, Renee. Let's go to James Johnson.
I'll be short. I'm a community organizer. There's not a thing I haven't organized that I felt that was hard for me. I think in this seat, we have a huge person that actually can reach everybody, all parts of the district. When we knock on doors, I said it again, there are people that do not even know who the elected officials are. So we need somebody that can actually bring information to the people, meet people where they are. I'm not a dictator. I'm here to serve you. And people understand that. And I think that we have to get away from this old school way of being elected officials, and we have to get off our chairs, get out of office and meet people where they are. And, whether if I'm organizing a parade down Linden Boulevard for my local high school, or whether I'm, which isn't paid, which I started a community-based organization called Opportunities for Southeast Queens Millennials, where we had NACA and we had neighborhood housing services have 150 young people sign up to be first-time homebuyer programs, which wasn't paid, which is whether I'm organizing as a man of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. You know, we go down Hollis Avenue and we're feeding 200 members of people that actually needed 200 residents of Hollis Avenue. So organizing is something that we need. That's my superpower. I'm great at it. I'm the best at it, in my personal opinion. I think some people will agree with me on this call. You know, we have to have somebody that can meet people where they are and that can get information to the community, because information is one of our number one problems. You know, people leave our community because they don't know the resources and opportunities that we actually have in Southeast Queens. So I think that is my peers has been leaving, at a very fast rate. And I want to make sure our peers are staying. I want to make sure our elders are staying in their homes as well, that they have for 40, 50 years. I think that was short. Okay, Scott?
Thank you.
Short enough.
And your number on the ballot?
I'm number 7. I don't even feel like throwing my hands up, my numbers and all that stuff like that. James Johnson, that's the name you need to remember. I'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right.
Thank you. Now, Al.
Thank you, Sky. Sky, I'm a community servant. That's my background. I'm a servant for the people. I serve people. Doesn't matter where you're at. Doesn't matter what you're asking for. If I can't serve you, I'll reach out to somebody that can serve you. That's my job. That's what I was born to do. Serving in the city council for almost 15 years, addressing issues that our community face, from flooding, transportation, infrastructure, education, healthcare, and so on. I have done it all. I've done it with the support from my elected official, community leader, clergy, union folks, and community folks that are here now. That's what I've done, and that's what I intend to do. But unfortunately, my experience in city council, I have noticed that one of our biggest problems is having city agency respond to our city requests, our community requests to address the issue that we face. So one word I'm gonna say is accountability. And how do I wanna address that? What we need to do in City Hall is to make sure that we work with our state elected official to look at our city charter, to make sure that we are able to hold the appointment by the mayor of people who are taking city agencies responsibility. Our city commissioners from NYPD, Department of Environmental Protection, Department of Transportation, Department of Building, Department of Finance, Education, and so forth. These men and women that are being appointed by the mayor have to be held accountable. How do we do that? When the mayor appoints them, we have to make sure that we vet them through the city council. When they are vetted completely by the men and women that are elected by the people of our community, of our city, then we can hold them accountable. The police commissioner, if we cannot hold that police commissioner accountable by vetting him, I am suggesting that position should be an elected position. If we can't have that an elected position for men or women that actually oversee 40,000 plus men and women with guns in our city to address the gun violence in our city, then we have an issue. That position should be an elected position, so the men and women that the police department is supposed to serve, they are part of the decision making that the police department is supposed to do. Well, with addressing the appointment, one of the number one thing that I want to look at is our healthcare. We have to make sure we look at some of the laws that were actually put in place with our healthcare by working with our colleagues in the council to create about $330 million that can be shifted back from the fire department to EMS budget to go back to the Health Hospital Corporation. That money was moved by Mayor Giuliani in '96. We got to make sure that the HHC money has to stay within the hospital, not the fire department. Those are some of the things we have to do to make sure that we address the healthcare situation in our community and have community folks involved in that. I'm going to make sure we hold them accountable, because I know if we can hold them accountable, we can do a lot in our city by addressing issues that directly impact the men and women that I intend to serve in the 27th Council District. And that's what I'll do, and that is my strength. Thank you.
Thank you. Harold Miller.
So you said superpowers. My superpower, I'm a coalition builder. I'm not afraid to take on the biggest corporations in the world head on. For example, I organized homeowners losing their homes to foreclosure, and we took our fight all the way to Chase Bank, Bank of America, and others, Wells Fargo. And we got local municipalities like the city of Buffalo, Binghamton, and others to divest money from those banks and protest. I organized fast food workers against McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, the largest fast food corporations in the world. to make sure that they were paying workers a decent wage, fighting against union busting, making sure that we had equitable resources, making sure that we have a community that is thriving. It's all about making sure we have the fights head on. And that's been my skill set for the last 20 years. That's what I'm going to do to win this campaign. And that's the kind of council member I will be, representing the community, building coalitions, taking on the big fights, making sure that we get things done, and having a more equitable society in District 27.
Thank you.
And that was the shortest answer of all so far.
It was.
Thank you, Harold.
Shout out to Harold.
Thank you. And now Anthony Rivers.
Thank you. All right, if I had to talk about a superpower, I guess my superpower is serving others. I've built my entire life on serving people. I spent 4 years in the United States Marine Corps serving my country. I spent 23 years with NYPD serving the city of New York. And I spent 27 years as a licensed financial services provider in and out of thousands of homes, helping people save and accumulate money for retirement. As a community activist, again, I've done nothing but serve my community. And I've served it on a volunteer basis to fight for the betterment of Southeast Queens on several issues over the years. Everything that I do is always in a non-selfish manner for the betterment of community. One of the things that I think is foremost and most needed that I would fight for and use my career of servitude to bring about is education for our children. I'm a strong proponent of that. Our children are our future. They make up who we will be, not who we are. And for that, we have to initiate some sort of tutoring programs for these children that lost over a year of education due to COVID. That is a priority, as well as bringing vocations back into the schools to give our young people something other than STEM, which is very important, to gravitate to help bring up our graduation rate. So my superpower is serving others and fighting on behalf of community, which I've done over the last 30 years. That's why I'm running for city council, and I am number 6 on the ballot, right in the middle. You can't miss me, Anthony Rivers. Thank you. I think I beat you, Harold, for being short.
Thank you. And last but not least here, Nantasha, your superpower.
And so when I think about my superpower, I would say I am a strategic thinker, a project manager, executor, and problem solver. So for me, I'm always trying to figure out how we can get the job done. I have tremendous national experience, state experience, and intentional local experience. In fact, when I started working for the JFK redevelopment program, that was an intentional decision because I wanted to have local impact on my community. And I've always sort of situated myself at the intersection of politics, community, and activism. I jokingly always say I moonlight as an activist, and I'm super thankful and humbled to have the support of our activists and social justice leaders of the time, from a Tamika Mallory to a Linda Sarsour, down to an Assemblywoman Alicia Hyman, to a few unions, 32BJ, DC 37, 1199, UFT, CSA, DC 9, the laborers, and much more. And yes, endorsements are great. But one of the reasons why the endorsements mean so much to me and why I'm so humbled is because I've built so many valuable relationships over the course of my personal and professional life that demonstrate my work ethic, my ability to get the job done. I've always kind of been in behind the scenes person, never really worried about the clout or worried about getting credit for things, but more so worried about how we can have a positive effect on the people that look like me. And so that's just my superpower, is getting the job done and working really hard to serve the people.
Thank you. And look at that, it's 6 o'clock. See, we only got to learn just a touch of everyone on the screen. And I see that there's a nice chat going with everyone who submitted their campaign websites. And I wanted to say that Schneps Media, PoliticsNY, our goal is to amplify your voices. We have a few weeks left. So if there's anything you want to put out there, we are the only media outlet amplifying everything on the hyper local level. So tag us on social media, submit your op-eds to us. we'll repost things to get to know you better and to better educate the community, because we want the most people to come out and vote this year. And now I want to take a screenshot of everyone on the screen if everyone wants to hold up their number that they are on the ballot.
Well, that's kind of unfair.
don't have
I
enough
only have
fingers.
10 fingers and I don't have 12, so I don't know how you want us to do that.
Number two.
Marie and I don't have enough fingers.
Oh, shoot.
Should we put our toes up?
Yeah. Put your toes up too. I'll put my feet up.
Wow. I don't think anyone wants to see my toes right now.
We better stop this. We better stop this. Let's get out of hand.
Number 11.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, you put on the paper. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you to the live audience. Again, this is recorded. Thank you for sharing your superpower with us. I hope you like this fun and fast debate and continue to tune in. And again, we'll amplify everything on behalf of Schneps Media, Politics NY. I'm Sky. Thank you so much. Good luck to you all and have a safe night.
Remember,
Thank you for
we
having
never
us.
give up. That's my superpower.
Sky. Thank you, Schneps. Thank you, Sky.
Tenacity.
Thank you for having us.
Hey.
Leroy